Hey everybody, let's talk about one-hit wonders. One-hit wonders, those are those bands that came out with a top-of-the-charts song at some point, and that's all they were known for. Nothing else that they produced was memorable at all, as opposed to, let's say, like the Beatles, the Rolling Stones, Billy Joel, bands, artists that create many, many very memorable songs, very popular songs. One-hit wonders is, as the term implies, they came out with one hit and that was it. So a couple examples. Spirit in the Sky, da 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 da. I don't know the words to that one. That's by Norman Greenbaum. Nice Jewish sounding name, even though he talks about Jesus in that song. When in Rome, I'll promise you I will. I quote that in one of my purple sheets. That's another example. That song appeared at the end of the movie Napoleon Dynamite. Another one-hit wonder. But my favorite, because I remember this really, really well back in the day when I was a kid. Brandy, you're a fine girl. What a good wife you would be or make or something like that. Another Jewish guy, Elliot Lurie. So those are some examples of one-hit wonders. Why am I talking about this? Because in the Gemara this week, we came across a one-hit wonder rabbi. Yeah, we're talking about Baba Metzia. And Baba Metzia deals with, amongst other things, lost objects. So let's say you find something. So you have a responsibility to return it to its rightful owner. But let's say it does not have a distinctive, recognizable sign that would attach it to its owner. So money, for instance, you find some cash. You see a $20 bill in the street, you could keep that. Well, you can announce who lost $20 bill. Anyone can come up and say, yeah, that's my $20. You keep that. But let's say the Gemara gives an example of where it's money, but however, the Mishnah says that there's three coins that are on top of one another. So in explaining this, Rabbi Yitzchak Migdala'ah, he says this ruling is true only when the coins were arranged like towers. That if the coins were in a particular way, that they were stacked up, obviously that didn't happen by itself. It's in a little tower over there. Therefore, you could see that belongs to somebody. You got to pick those up and make it known that I found these coins. And if someone can then identify by saying how many they were and how they were arranged, that's the proof that they were his. Now, what's interesting over here is that he's talking about arranged like a tower. The rabbi's name over here is Rabbi Yitzchak Migdala'ah, which means a migdal is a tower. And it's no coincidence, and they say in the note over here in the Art Scroll people, they quote on it, this is the only statement made by Rabbi Yitzchak Migdala'ah in the entire Talmud. He therefore suggests, his commentary suggests that this rabbi was surnamed, he got that name Migdala'ah from the word Migdal tower because his ruling refers to coins stacked up in a tower. And they gave him that nickname. But the point here is this is the only time this guy appears, this rabbi appears in the Talmud. He's our example of a one-hit wonder rabbi in the Talmud. Now, normally, and I was thinking about this a little bit more, when I think of one-hit wonders, I don't think of them so highly. Like this rabbi, you compare him to Rabbi Akiva, who's mentioned all the time, Rabbi Yossi Aglili, Rav Ashi, Rabba, Rava. There's all these rabbis who are repeatedly mentioned in the Talmud. And then you have this poor guy, Rabbi Migdalah, Rabbi Tower, who shows up once. And I was thinking like, Nebuch, the poor guy. But the more I thought about it, I said, you know what, I think I got this backwards. Because the fact of the matter is, there were probably lots of rabbis around, and there were during the time of the Talmud. And many of them, most of them, don't get mentioned. This guy got mentioned at least once. And it's the same thing with one-hit wonder songs. We think, Nebuch, those guys, they're not like great bands like the Beatles or the Rolling Stones, but hold on a sec. They created one very super memorable song that made it to the top of the charts. So don't look down upon them. We should respect that. And in fact, the bottom line is let's face it, not everyone's going to be a superstar. Not everyone's going to be a Rabbi Akiva or the Rolling Stones or the Beatles or a Rabbi Yossi Glili. It's not going to work that way. And so There's actually a Mishnah in Pirkei Avot, a statement in Ethics of the Fathers that addresses this. It says, Al tehi baz l'kol adam. You shouldn't look disparagingly at anyone. Why? She'en lecha adam she'en lo sha'ah. Because there's no such thing as a person who doesn't have their special moment, who doesn't have their very unique contributing moment in life. Don't look down upon anybody. Everybody's going to have everyone's going to be a one-hit wonder on some level or another. And I'm sure you've probably seen in your life, we've all experienced where somebody gave us one piece of advice and it changed things dramatically. They didn't give us a whole bunch of things. They didn't have a whole array. One piece of advice, it went in, it was the right piece of advice at the right time, and it changed our lives. They were one-hit wonders. And that's why we have a tradition. It says that if someone teaches you one thing, just one thing, you call them Rabbi. You're my rabbi, you're my teacher. So, different perspective on one-hit wonders. Don't look down upon them. The superstars are few and far between. Most people, their lives, if they merit, hopefully gets to the point where they're one-hit wonders, where they make a significant one contribution to our world, to your life. And therefore, we should respect that, appreciate the one-hit wonders in our lives. Have a good Shabbat.